Welcome to this career progression talk. I am delighted that this slightly generic title has made you curious enough to join me. My name is Eva Marciniak, and I am a senior software engineer for tech product in Zendesk. Quite recently, I have also become a tech lead for one of the teams within my company. What makes me the right person to talk to you about a career-related topic? Well, I have had quite an interesting career journey so far. I come from an architectural background and spent a few years of my life designing buildings just before the recession happened and I was made redundant. Like many architects at the time, I searched for a job without much success for almost 2 years, actually. Those were really tough recession times. I could tell you a lot about the ups and downs of looking for a job. And I imagine a lot of you have or are going through this themselves. But for the purpose of this talk, I will cut the long story short. When I opened up to the possibility of a career change, things started to happen for me. I had the pleasure to train as an air traffic controller before I arrived to my current vocation in software engineering. So I can definitely say that my career path has not been linear. I had many ups and downs, and the lesson I have learned is that we all may have many successful careers throughout our lives. We can draw from our skills and apply them in various professions and in a multitude of fields. And trust me, starting off from scratch multiple times was quite hard, but it also gave me a good perspective on life and career. And also made me realize some universal lessons that can be learned from this. I would like to share those lessons with you today. So, what is career progression? One would say it is moving forward in a career or an employee's workplace journey. But I think that those terms say very little about the effort that goes into that process. I have also come across terms like climbing the work ladder, and this definitely conveys the effort, but says very little about the reasoning behind it. In my opinion, what describes it best is that career progression encompasses all the steps that a person takes in their career to improve, whether in terms of title, compensation, or skills, or potentially a combination of all of those. So it is a very generic term for something that we might all perceive slightly differently, depending on what we value and what we after, and also how attractive they are to us in that moment in time. And I think the term "in that moment in time" is very important here. And I'm gonna try to explain now. It is a hard fact that each employee progresses and grows differently and at different pace, at different stages of their career. I recently read a book called Radical Candor by Kim Scott, and I highly recommend it as it is a great read. And one of the chapters quotes an engineering manager from Apple that divided all her high-performing employees into rock stars and superstars. Superstars, as she explained, are team members who like their work, are very good at it, and who are on a very rapid growth trajectory. While the rock stars, on the other hand, are also very good at their job, but they might be happy where they are, or have other things going on in their lives outside work that they want to dedicate time and energy to. One thing I took from this is that It is okay to be either of them at some point of your life. You might not want the career progression at the current moment, and there is nothing wrong with that. We often alternate between being a rock star and superstar, depending on our personal circumstances. And this is okay. I also want to mention that there are many other factors that will influence our career path. There are things that we have control over and those that we don't, like the economy and recession in my case, like the hiring patterns, availability of jobs in your areas, or positions you are after within your company or outside of it. They may be scarce or may come at the wrong time. And we may need to accept those limitations or not. When I lost my job in 2008, the recession was quite widespread and affected almost every part of the globe. The only places that were not affected that much within the building industry were Australia and Canada. And I could have probably tried my luck there, but I wasn't prepared for this move. What I am trying to say is that we always have a choice, but it's important to recognize that these may be limiting factors and that overcoming those sometimes requires a lot of effort and sacrifice. And then lastly, our experience. I remember very clearly how hard it is to find a job as a software engineer freshly out of college. And what a difference a couple of years of experience can make. How hard it is to get your first managerial position. And once you do, the door to getting into other leadership positions suddenly open. Okay, and now that we have noted a couple of things that can limit us in terms of our career progression, I would like to move on to those things that we actually can have control over, things that we can do ourselves to accelerate that progression. And I'd like to present those in a way of tips or advice. And I have divided this into a couple of sections on different slides. And we're going to talk about them in a second. These are planning your career, people, reflection, opportunities, effort, focus, and persistence. Starting off with planning your career. First one is be thoughtful and intentional about what you do. When going on holidays, we all have limited personal time of work for travel. Most of us do anyways. We all want to get to our destination as quickly and directly as possible. We don't want to wait for hours for connecting flights or add too much mileage to our journey. We just want to go from point A to B. And how do we ensure we do that? We plan ahead. I am quite a passionate trip organizer myself, love searching for cheapest flights, looking for deals, planning shortest routes, etc. This rule can be applied to your career. Indeed, intentional career management is about deliberate, planned, and purposeful pursuit of career goals and opportunities. It requires you to dig deep and determine what's most important to you, what you're good at, and what excites you. This does not mean that plans and goals are unwavering. Definitely your journey can affect original goals, but detours and unexpected events may turn out to be the key to your success. If your goal changes, pivot. Rethink what you want to do, identify the steps that will support your goal and start chipping away at those steps. If you don't know what you want, it can be difficult to know the steps to get there. So know your mission and your path will become clear. Create a professional development plan with your manager. It is important to be clear and vocal with your manager about your goals. They are most likely to be the ones that can provide you with the opportunities. Be open with them that you are looking for promotion, if this is what you're after, because they will be the ones that will put your name forward for that promotion. Start a conversation on what you actually need to work on to increase your chances of securing that promotion. Ask for clarity and those steps, how to get there. I would advise to create that development plan and then to check in regularly with your manager on progress. Finally, increase your industry and company awareness. And what I mean by this is being aware of the direction that your company or industry is going. Be it new technologies, upcoming hiring plans, or other company initiatives. This information will help you to adjust your course in time to avail of those opportunities. For example, learning Scala when your company is increasingly using this language might give you a certain advantage when looking for new opportunities within the same company. And moving on to people, find a mentor or coach. What is coaching and mentoring? Some people cannot tell the difference. Both provide support in achieving personal, professional goals, but the way that support is given is quite different. The main thing to remember is that mentor is usually a person from the same industry that will share the experience and directly advise. The coach, on the other hand, will step out of that problem-solving mode and into the active listening mode to help you introspect. So having someone from the industry, like mentor, potentially from the same company that has gone down similar path and knows all the ins and outs and potential opportunities available, is really, really valuable. If you don't have a mentor, please do find one. If your company does not have a program, find one yourself. Ask somebody you admire if they would be interested in mentoring you. Mentoring others and sharing the knowledge is often something that is expected of more senior employees. So this can actually be mutually beneficial to both of you. Zendesk provided me with an opportunity to be both coached and mentored over the years. I was lucky enough to get a mentor a couple of years ago, and they were doing a mentorship program within the company. And I feel that it was something that really helped me to get promoted as a senior software engineer. And quite recently, I also availed of that coaching opportunity with Better App. And it has been one of the most eye-opening experiences I had in terms of development. Very therapeutic at times, but also hard at the same time. And I think I achieved a lot of self-awareness thanks to this. And this has also greatly accelerated my personal development. If you get a chance to avail of an opportunity like this, either through your company-sponsored program or by hiring a coach yourself, go for it. I highly recommend it. Find a role model and learn from them. I'm not talking about JF Kennedy or Mother Teresa. I'm talking about a real life figure that you can learn from every day. Maybe somebody you work with, or even better look out for behaviors to admire the people. Shamelessly copy them as your own. If you admire them, it's highly likely that other people do too. And needless to say, but doing things other people admire, you obviously building your way up to promotion. I've learned a lot of stuff from people in Zendesk in recent years in terms of technical knowledge, work ethics, and even habits quite recently. My tech lead on my previous team has always been well prepared, always aware of everything that was happening within the team, department, and the company. And when I was joining in the team chat in the morning, barely awake with a cup of coffee in my hand, I felt like I was playing catch up. So I decided to try getting up that little bit earlier and making sure I have time to read my emails and all the messages that arrived in my mailbox overnight before I get on with my day. I look at a calendar now and double check that I have everything that I need for the updates and have all the information for the upcoming meetings that day. I am still struggling getting up every day, but having that additional hour before everybody comes online has helped me a lot in gaining that confidence and feeling in control, and I trust that it shows. Next, there is build relationships. Go out of your way to build solid working relationships with your colleagues. I do not encourage you to fake any relationships by any means. People quickly recognize true intentions, and that will never work. I'm talking about giving and taking, supporting people. I'm talking about being the person that other feels comfortable working with, that people feel supported by, and for whom inclusion is a vital part of the work environment. Build the type of relationships you want to have outside of work with your friends, based on trust, respect, self-awareness, inclusion, and open communication. And when you are open with your coworkers about your goals, and open about the type of opportunities that you are after, those people that enjoy working with you will think of you when they come across those opportunities, and they will give you a voice when you need one, and they will support you in your endeavor to achieve your goals. They will be your advocates in the place of work. Even though you should try to build and maintain good working relationships with everyone, some deserve extra attention, like the relationship with your manager. The person who has a lot of company awareness and also potentially can create opportunities for you. Don't skip your one-on-ones. This is the time to build that relationship and be open about what you are after. You can also explore managing upwards. And what I mean by this is that you can try to manage your managers to make your manager's life easier. Analyze how your own managers prefer to work and anticipate their needs. Adapt your approach for a smoother relationship. You'll also benefit from developing a good working relationship with other key people that may have some interest in your success or failure, people that you work regularly with from other departments. You are building your support network for potentially years to come, and often job offers happen as a result of an ex-worker recommendation. So I have experienced this myself. So build that support network for your future. Reflection. I can say that probably up until I started working in the IT industry, I had very little experience in reflecting. Learning from my own mistakes was more of an intuitive and natural process, and not a very intentional one for me. The sort of thing that gets engraved in you because of a painful experience rather than conscious analysis of something that went wrong. So team retrospectives in my first job in software development were the first real contact with reflecting, and I often wondered why they're not that common in the building industry and other industries. I quickly realized what a powerful tool for development reflecting can be for a team. And when done in a no finger pointing way, it can have a strangely cleansing effect. This discussion on how to make things better for the future projects have the power to unify the entire team. And one thing that I love about this industry, and that is that we engineers take every failure as a lesson and accept that we cannot change the past, but we can change the future. So that reflection and continuous improvement that the IT teams usually engage in can be similarly applied to you as an individual. Take those failures and build on them. Talk to your coach, talk to your mentor, and analyze your behaviors, actions, skills, or lack of. Dig into the skills you are missing. Find out why you are procrastinating. Be honest, like you would be during those team retros, but also be kind to yourself. No finger pointing, only moving forward. Sometimes we are too close to the problem to see it. So make use of those relationships you build with people and ask for feedback. Ask the people you trust the most, the ones that you know will be honest with you. I think people who work with you every day are the ones that can provide the most value in terms of feedback. And I need to say this, feedback can be hard. So make sure you take it graciously. Don't be afraid to ask questions and ask for examples. Examples are the key because they will help you understand the circumstances and get to the nitty-gritty. Opportunities. As I mentioned before, be vocal about your goals and be open about searching for opportunities. Don't just assume everybody knows. Best opportunities happened to me when I was very open with my managers and coworkers. I'm looking to take on more responsibilities. I am open to any new opportunities and I'm ready. And when those opportunities arrive, say yes. Sometimes those opportunities might not be exactly what we're looking for, and it's up to you to decide if you still want to pursue them. I believe that unless they take away from your focus, or unless you have got other things going on that will more directly impact your career progression, it is often good to extend yourself and accept them. I want to say also that sometimes moving sideways is the quickest way up. Like in a board game, sometimes changing the original route still gets you up to the same square you want to get to, but faster. And drawing again from my own experience, accepting my tech lead role was something of a sideways move. I originally chose the managerial track and not the technical one, but at the time I was offered a tech lead role, there was very little chances of becoming a team lead in the near future for a while. So I accepted this role because it just gave me more exposure and opportunities to develop than staying within my current role. And I think that sideways step can ultimately be a step forward in a longer run. Effort, focus, and persistence. Many people think that just by doing their job well, they will get promoted. It is not always the case. I feel that very few people that get promoted are promoted solely based on the amount of time that they are within the company. And most managers want to see professional growth, and there is no growth without a challenge. Some managers will spot those opportunities for you and will offer them to you, but sometimes you need to find them yourself. Taking on things that you are a little uncomfortable with will be perfect for that. For example, I am very aware that public speaking and presenting is something I need to work on. And here I am talking to you, making my first public conference appearance. It is a conscious effort to improve and work on those presentation skills, even though this wouldn't come to me easy. It is worth mentioning that stretching yourself has its limits. And I want you to understand that a little discomfort is okay, but living in a constant stress for a prolonged period of time is not. You have to know yourself and know how much is too much. It is important that you know when to step back into the comfort zone if you feel like something is affecting you in such a way that you cannot cope. Look after yourself, both in a physical and mental capacity. They're both important for your well-being and should always come first. And I want to advocate for the physical activity, not only from the health point of view, but also from the happiness point of view. If you if you are healthy and happy, then your career progression will come way easier. We may sometimes feel like we are putting all the work in, but there is no result. And I would say be patient, keep your head down, and don't get distracted by others. Work hard. Yet, if you feel you are not happy and feel stuck, sometimes it is time to move on. And the last thing, work for the role you want to be in. And this is part of that stretching yourself. I recently heard somebody asking a certain public person if they agree that you should dress for the job you want and not the one you have. And I absolutely love the answer. The person said, I believe you should work for the job that you want to be doing and not the one you are in. To close this off, show enthusiasm without faking it, of course. This is the most generic interview advice you could ever get, but it cannot be underestimated. And if you don't feel excited about your job, maybe it's worth asking the question, why? Maybe it's time to evaluate and find new goals and challenges. This is all the advice I have for you for now, but my career journey is not over. I'm sure there's plenty of lessons to learn. I hope that you enjoyed this talk and that you found something interesting or useful for yourself. And hoping that you did, to close this, I'd like to challenge you with a call to action. Have a think, pick one or two things from my talk and try to implement them. Go on, be brave and make that change. Just do it. Thank you.